What is up, everyone? This is my second time doing this because the first video ended short. Ended short. So I'm doing another video. Well, today we're reacting. What the heck was all of that? The world's fastest disc launcher on Risk. So
But
let's
aren't
get straight
sports
into it.
90% mental? So I
Again,
decided to use my brain.
I'm so
Although you
upset
might think
because
there's something
like
wrong with my brain because I made this.
I feel
My
like
goal
there might
has
be a
been to
lot
go
that I'm
faster than
skipping.
any human. So we're gonna see if we can break some records.
And before everyone accuses me of cheating, I want to point out that
That's
this disc
regulation.
is regulation.
It does have
Yes.
this minor issue of
Not
so
the
much
arm,
kick
but the
that it'll
disc.
break your arm.
Yeah.
And
that
a
would
100
hurt.
mile per hour frisbee going past your face. So naturally, we have to see how bad it would be if you got hit.
Slice.
This ended up being my most labor-intensive project ever. Everything that could break, broke. I mean, heck,
Dang.
it broke twice. One of the main systems took me 10 generations to get working right. I even had to make my own valves.
Like a lot of my projects, the journey is the destination, so buckle up.
Disc golf is just like normal golf, played with discs. You play a series of holes where you try to get the disc close to the
gonna skip
basket,
that
and then
right
you
there.
Oh,
putt it in.
I enjoy making things go really, really fast, so I'm going to focus on the drive than humanly
Again.
possible. And according to the internet, the fastest disc ever thrown was 89.5 miles per hour by Simon Lazati. So our target
Pretty
is
fast.
90 miles per hour. I've been wanting to make
I
something
think he
like
gonna
this
do
for
it.
quite a while, and I have a vision of how I think it would work. Imagine a thing that you could hold that gave your arm an extra joint, and it was powered and could spin super fast on command. And then it had the ability to hold a frisbee on the end.
As you swung this thing, it would fire and give you a ton of extra speed. And then a computer monitoring the swing would release at just the right point.
The biggest problem with this design is the reaction forces. It is gonna kick like a mule.
When it accelerates the frisbee, there's an equal and opposite force that pushes into your arm. This could mess up your aiming or even injure you. Thanks a
That was
lot,
wicked.
Isaac Newton. But wait, if I launch two frisbees in opposite directions, they'll push
It'll
on each
cancel
other and it'll
each other
cancel
out.
out. So we just
Yes.
need an extra arm on our launcher,
Smart like
and
that.
we'll use a weight instead of a frisbee.
I need some kind of power source that I can use to accelerate this arm and launch the frisbee. In the past, I've used explosive blanks to launch stuff really fast, but I don't think they're suitable in this case. And that's because they're just too fast. They release all their energy almost instantaneously. If I accelerated this disc as fast as the explosive blanks would want to, it would basically just break everything.
So my plan is to use really high pressure air. I can shoot this air into a piston, which will make a really strong pull. And then I can attach a chain to it to spin the arm. But that's only half the problem. We also have to stop the arm. You can't just have a hard stop because this will destroy everything. But there's a really cool trick. If we attach the chain to the sprocket, it will unwind as it launches the arm, and then it will wind the other way, which pulls the piston back out, acting like a brake.
I really like this design. There's no extra parts for me to make, break, and then remake, which is what usually happens with these systems.
Holding and releasing the disc is really
Let's
hard.
see.
Humans are crazy, and we're not going to be making a hand. So I'm going to have the disc sit on a flat plane, held down by fingers around the rim. The fingers will have a trigger mechanism that will let me drop them all in sync.
That's the basic design. 2 counter-rotating arms, 1 holding a frisbee with little claws, powered by a high-pressure air system.
All right, let's get this thing made. Oh, crap. This hole's supposed to be over here. This part is too big to fail. If anyone asks, you didn't see anything. Everything is super beefy because the forces and torques are ridiculous. This thing has a lot of round parts, which means a lot of lathe work. You know what? Don't even ask. Cutting square-edged holes is sometimes a real challenge. This is the arm brace and will be formed into the shape of my arm. Hey wife,
Yeah?
could you see if we have a rod kind of similar size to my bicep?
Yeah, sure.
Why she play him like that though?
Very cool. If you want to understand what the heck some of these tools are, check out my shop tour. I 3D printed as many parts as I could, but the forces are so high that pretty much everything had to be metal. Once the parts are finally made, the assembly is pretty easy. So cool.
This is completely ridiculous, but
underneath the
2,
table.
1.
Oh wow.
That was about 30 times slower than it should have been, which is kind of funny, but also really annoying. Although I think I might know what the culprit is.
I think I
I'm
know
really
too.
suspicious of this gearbox. Everything feels really good in low friction right now.
But if you put a lot of torque through these gears, they try to push each other apart. I think this is shoving them into the side of the gearbox and generating a ton of friction. So we're going to modify the gearbox to put these bearings between the gears and the wall.
All right, hopefully
Remember
it
that.
works this time. 3, 2, 1.
Why?
All right, so I've been doing a lot of testing, and I think that this valve is part of the resistance, trying to undermine my disc launcher from within.
The reason I used this valve is that someone on Amazon said it worked for their potato cannon.
And I thought, sounds great. I'm basically launching a potato too.
Yeah, cool story, Mr. Potato Head, if that even is your real name.
I just did the math,
Missing
which I should have done
context.
before, on the airflow that I can get through this valve, and there's not a chance that it'll work.
This valve is between the tank of high pressure air and the pneumatic cylinder. And the problem is that it has a tiny little hole, which only lets a little bit of air through, so
So-
the piston moves really slow.
Unfortunately, I can't get a suitable valve quickly, and
So
I want
you
it right
making
now,
your
so
own.
We're gonna make our own valve.
We'll start with a
Exactly.
giant hole that all the air can go through. Then we'll add a piston that can open and close the hole. Pressurizing this side will push the piston down and open the valve. We can even use our high pressure air to do this. We just need a small valve to turn this piston on and off, which is a perfect use for this valve that I thought was useless. And you know the drill, we just gotta make it now.
Yep.
This is the valve piston.
Grind it out, man.
It goes in like a glove. It really is pretty simple. I did integrate a safety stick, which prevents the valve from opening until I'm definitely ready. Let me show you the difference between these valves. Here's the old one.
3, 2, 1. Now I'm gonna show you what a real valve does. 2, 1.
Destroyed. Look at that. Oh man, the balloon
It's just
can
too
even
much
take
stress for the
pressure.
balloon to handle. The balloon is gone in 5,000ths of a second. Balloons are cool, but it would be really cool if it actually works.
3, 2, 1.
Man, so slow.
This is starting to get pretty annoying, actually. Come on. All right, I think I found another problem. I'm very hesitant to say the problem because I've said that 3 times already. Basically, we have a bottleneck in our bottleneck. Let me show you.
Oh, come on. Hold on, I don't have the right tool. Okay, let me show you.
And this is the regulator.
The tank actually has a super duper high pressure inside of it, and the regulator allows it to output a constant lower pressure
Meh.
even as that pressure inside the tank changes.
Here's what's inside.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting stuff, but the main takeaway is there's another tiny hole. Tiny holes are bad. All right, it's starting to get a little bit complicated, but we're gonna add a second tank that has no regulator.
The main tank pressurizes the secondary tank before we fire. The second tank has a big hole which can deliver all the air when we fire.
Oh, darn.
All right, let's try again. Ignore the fact that it didn't release, that's a software bug. The speed is way better, but what is with this kick? Oh my goodness. I know what is happening.
Just trying to
I
twist
think
your
of
arm in
stupid and
half.
smart as a continuum. You have stupid over here, smart over here, and everything in between. But what you might not realize is it's actually a circle, and it's possible to do something that you think is really smart, but you actually wrapped all the way back around to stupid, which is exactly what I did right here with this torque problem.
Looking at it from above, things are great. All the forces cancel out. But from this view, the top arm is pushing this way, and the bottom arm is pushing that way, which wants to twist the launcher, like a lot.
So I calculated how much torque this would put on your arm, and it's about the torque output of a Honda Civic. So I'm gonna remove this lower arm. This will cut the torque in half, although it does mean we're gonna get the kick that I was trying to cancel out. So to try to make that better, I'm gonna make all the mass removing up here as light as possible. The downside is I have to redesign and remake everything that moves. Yeah, that's not great.
Why the spinning duck? Anybody else see that?
CNC is the best. I call it the finger flinger. The idea is that the disc sits on a little finger at the end of the arm. As the arm rotates, the disc will swing out. And when it's at the right point, you can drop the finger to let the disc fly. The real finger looks like this and is held in place with a metal wire. The wire is held and released by a mechanical trigger at the base of the arm.
Including the counterweight, this weighs 20 times less than what we had before, which should really reduce the kick and the torque. One little tricky thing is that before it starts swinging, the disc can just flop and fall anywhere. So there's a little plastic clip that holds it in place before it starts moving, and then it can just swing away freely.
It's cool and all, but does it work?
3, 2, 1.
Hopefully that was a fluke. It can throw all right sometimes, but if there's any wobble, it just pops out. Slight redesign. Hopefully this holder will keep it stable. All right, let's try it.
I did.
I think I somehow managed to make it worse. This is the Super Duper holder, which Super Duper supports the disc.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
Oh, I got it wrong. It's the Super Duper waste of time.
I just don't see any way of making the disc stay in here without making this too heavy. I'm gonna go back to the original holder and try to make it really light.
Any mask that can't tell me what it would say it does here is gone. Everything is skeletonized, lighter fasteners, and I modified it to use the finger trigger because it's a lot lighter.
So before I sink
Lighter,
any more time
better,
into this, I want to
stronger,
actually test
faster.
it with me holding it. I'm going to do it at an extremely low power. This will let me test the whole system. It'll also let me test the throwing modes. So up until now, I've been using bench
I know
mode,
this might be a stupid
which,
question,
if I
but was
hold
there
this
water in
button
the
for 2
gauge?
seconds, it'll trigger it. But it also has throwing mode. There's an accelerometer and gyroscope on the launcher that monitors the tilt and rotation of it. When it reaches a certain point in the throwing motion, it will trigger it to fire the Frisbee.
Time to just go for it.
Wow.
That's
3,
the same one.
2, 1.
What?
It seems like the disc isn't releasing at the right point.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say. I hope you,
You know,
got
I think
some
that
type of
assessment
chest
might
plate
have
on.
some
I know
merit.
that thing must hurt.
Something somewhere is broken, and I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna stop before I hurt myself and try to figure out what the heck is going on.
I'm gonna see past this.
You solve one problem, you create another. The discs are jamming.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Now that we're going really fast, I think the extreme acceleration forces are jamming the triggers so they don't open. Which means that we get to redesign and remake the triggers.
Back to the drawing board.
I think you know the drill at this point.
Hey, you know what he doing though? I did that.
Okay, this should be practically unjammable. All right, 10% power, here we go.
Shoosh.
All right, that looks great. 25%.
Shoosh.
So it kind of looks like the disc is catching air under it and getting
It's
forced out.
wobbled.
I love how we now have the opposite problem of jamming. I'm making a quick and dirty air shield to see if I can improve the situation. This should block air from flowing under the front of the disc. All right,
Like you said,
25%.
dirty on my headphone.
Promising.
Okay.
How about 50?
Okay.
Nice. I think this actually works. 75%. We're going for it.
2, 1.
Whoa. Freaking snapped the barrel, I think. Something snapped.
The disc popped out immediately.
A lot of stuff just happened. We broke the carbon fiber tube, which I don't think is
Yeah.
that big of a mystery. The disc popping out early is just really, really bad.
Normally, most of the energy goes into the disc, and when it's released, it takes it away. But when the disc pops out early, all that energy goes into the arm, which makes it go super fast, and then slam into the stop system with gusto.
You could say it turns the brake system into the brake system.
We're gonna replace the tube with titanium, which doesn't shatter. Now the real mystery is why the disc is popping out almost immediately.
I don't think this is aerodynamics this time because it's happening almost immediately before it starts going fast. I think this is actually G-forces.
The disc is going from 0 to 60 in a few thousandths of a second. This pushes the disc into the arm with over 100 pounds of force.
I think it's pushing the disc so hard that it bends like this, which lets it pop out of the fingers.
The acceleration begins immediately, which is why the disc would fly out when it's not even going fast.
So my thought is, if there's no gap to squeeze through, then it can't squeeze through.
Let's put that shower thought to a test.
This fully supports the back edge of the Frisbee, which will hopefully keep it from popping out. I'm using one of the trigger fingers to keep the disc in. Then when we're ready to fire, we can open the trigger finger and the disc should roll out of this holder.
I'm so tired of making grippers. Please work.
3, 2, 1.
So wham. Where'd he go?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a no for me,
Ben slid
dog.
out.
I'm really tempted to
blink,
make a
you miss
custom
it.
solid metal disc, which can't bend, but that would be deadly. And
No, you
also not
should make
regulation.
that.
I think the answer is to pull on the disc from the front. This will want to stretch the disc out rather than compressing it, and it shouldn't bend. So that means we get to redesign and remake the disc holder for, I don't even know, the 100,000 millionth time.
Before I sink a ton of time into making a nice gripper, I want to confirm that pulling on the disc actually works. This simple prototype holds under the rim, but it doesn't release. All right, 75% power, here we go. I think this concept works. Also, I was wrong about this one not releasing the disc. Trying to stop the Frisbee broke it. I couldn't have hit more things if I tried, but as far as I'm concerned, that is the sound of victory. I
like you
think.
took out a
We just
shelf.
have to make it for real and find out. It's 95% carbon fiber because I need maximum strength and minimum weight. It's basically the same way you make a drone.
Carbon fiber, titanium, aerospace grade aluminum, all to throw a piece of plastic. You'd think we're trying to go to the moon here. This is just like the prototype, except
Oh,
there's
man.
a little trap door holding the disc in place.
If this doesn't work, I give up.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, buddy. Hey. I think he got it, y'all. I think he's done it.
Finally, it works. This has been such a slog. This is the most time I've put into any project.
And a lot happened, so let me summarize. We made the original design, which had bearing issues. Then we had a series of pneumatic bottlenecks and made our own high-flow valve. We realized the launcher would twist your arm off. Then we wasted time trying to make a finger flinger with 3 generations of stabilizers. We backtracked and made the super light gripper, which wouldn't let go. So we developed a new trigger finger. Then as we started to go faster, we ran into aerodynamic issues with the holder and had to make a windshield. Then as we accelerated even harder, the 3-finger holder couldn't handle the G-forces. So we went off on a tangent trying to make a wraparound holder, which didn't work. So then we made a prototype pulling on the Frisbee holder, which worked. I made another wooden prototype, which I didn't show because it was boring. And then we made a space-age certified carbon fiber prosthetic hand.
And all I want to know now
Look at it.
is, can it throw faster than a human? Because if it can't, that would be really, really disappointing.
Remember, the speed to beat, 89.5 miles per hour.
I've got a setup that we're going to use to measure the speed with the high-speed camera. But before we do that, I'm going to throw the disc so that we get a human baseline. I already know that I suck, so you don't have to tell me that.
All right, it's the robot's turn.
3, 2, 1.
Look at that. Look at that. 85.
85 miles per hour at 40% power. That is what I'm talking about.
That's ridiculous.
All right, let's step it up.
3, 2, 1.
75
Wow, that's it.
to 96.
Could we do 100 miles per hour? I bet we could.
All right, I
Max
got it
power.
going. I got it going
3,
at least 120.
2, 1.
At least. Look at what it, my man. Yeah, right.
That
Yo,
obviously
we need
wasn't-
another one. Look at what it did, son.
That obviously wasn't supposed to
Bruh.
happen that way.
Imagine
It looks
that
like the
hitting
centrifugal
somebody,
force
man.
was so high
It
that it
probably
pulled the gripper off the titanium rod. I have the clamps
break a
maxed
bone.
out, so to fix this would take some new parts. Since we're already exceeding 90 miles per hour, let's just call 75% 100%.
like 75.
I grabbed some dimensions off this still frame before impact, and I calculate that the disc is going about 115 miles per hour. But it is a weird
If we
perspective,
go the right
so
way,
take
I
that with
think
a
it'd be
big
at
grain of
least
salt.
120, 150. I mean, 125.
I think it's a really bad idea to hold this launcher. The disc can come off, and when it does, it's deadly. And on top of that, there's
Blah, 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 blah. Boring. We've demonstrated that it's fine at lower power, so let's do it. But we are...
Exactly. Let's get straight to it. I don't like how fast it whips around. Like, I'd be terrified, bro. Just to see that thing whip past your face, and then to see it come back, like, no, bro, no, I could.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to end it. I forgot to aim. This thing is amazing. I love this. It's fast, but how far can it go? I really don't want to take it to a park. This is the kind of thing that generates interest that you don't really want. So thankfully we have a family friend with a really long field. I bet it's gonna go so far.
I don't think that's a good idea.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
Directly into the manure.
All right, let's
that
try
definitely
again.
hit some poop.
3, 2, 1.
Do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll.
My very shallow understanding is that discs flipping over is a fundamental behavior. How much discs want to do this is so important. It's actually one of the ratings for the discs. I'm using discs that don't want to flip over, but they're not designed for the speeds that I'm going, and they're still wanting to flip.
I tested all the discs in all the configurations. Some are alright, some are terrible.
Yeah, that was bad.
I'm getting about 550 feet, which is less than half of the human distance record, which really highlights how insane that record is. So you'd think if I'm throwing it faster than any human, it would go further than any human can throw, but it's actually really complicated. Discs are basically wings and gyroscopes.
How much the disc wants to flip and how efficiently it flies is extremely dependent on the design.
I think if I want to come anywhere near the distance record, I'm probably gonna have to design my own disc for the speeds that I'm throwing at.
You should have made
And
a
I also
metal
think I'm gonna
disc,
need
bro.
a lot more spin. When the disc spins,
I know it's not
it
good, but, like,
stabilizes
still,
itself
I
from
wanna
tipping
see
just
how
like a
far
gyroscope.
and
And I think
fast
I'll
that
also
thing
need a
goes.
really strong tailwind.
You know what? Hold on. Oh, that's really close.
173 meters.
But I'm not a woman.
So I brought the wife out to press the button, in which case I think it counts because she's a woman.
Who could argue with that?
Who could argue with that?
All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Wee.
Okay, not the strongest start.
Wah.
Let's try again.
3, 2, 1. Whoa. That was a good one.
That thing went on.
167 meters.
I can't even see it. Where are you seeing it?
What was the record again?
167?
You know, I think that might be for the best.
I can't put my finger on it, but something about this just doesn't really feel quite legit.
I do think it would help if I was holding it.
The
You wanna
arm?
hold it.
No.
Yeah. Not even.
So this thing will let you throw a frisbee faster than any human, but a sacrifice must be made. It'll either break your arm or possibly kill you. Not exactly the most useful thing ever, but I think it's good proof of concept.
Imagine the
I learned
torque
a ton.
of a
and I
Honda
had a lot of
Civic
ideas
hitting
on
your
how I could
arm.
make it safe, and how I could launch the frisbee really far, which I think is a
Ridiculous.
super interesting problem. And I know this thing is powerful, but I want to get a better visual. So we're going to shoot it at some melons just to see what happens. But
Yes.
before we do that, I want to
Let's
talk about
see
getting
it.
these videos made. So I just
I
It
wanna
is
see
so
the
fun,
melon.
and I'm so thankful to be in this position.
really
I
dependent on
want to
your
see
help.
the
So if
melon.
you want to help me make more projects like this, there's a few things that you can do. The first thing you can do is subscribe to the channel.
Real quick, first thing y'all can do to help me out too, subscribe to the channel. You already know, like what he said, man. Now let's see what the next
This
thing you have
helps
to
me
say.
get sponsors.
You can support the project.
It just
directly
helps
on
me make better
Patreon or
content, and
by
it lets
picking
me
up
know
a
that
sweet
y'all want to
shirt.
see more of
And the
Either
final thing you
this-
can do is take a minute to
Also,
check
y'all
out this
could
video
comment too to
sponsor.
let me know
I
y'all
get
want to see more of
messages
this.
every single day from people
Like,
who want to learn to make stuff like I do.
Share,
And the
show your
simple answer
friends,
is that you
your
learn
kids,
a specific set of skills, which
mother,
you apply
brother,
to solve
sister,
various
you know what I
problems.
mean?
But picking up that set of skills is the hard part. And it's why I think the sponsor for this video is really important. It's a company that I've wanted to work with for over a year, and they're called Brilliant. I love
Yes.
tools, and this is an amazing tool for learning.
Okay,
It's on
so
the
why?
way. So you're solving real problems, you're seeing
Linear
the results,
algebra
and it's a
with
really effective
applications.
way to learn. And linear
So-
algebra may seem esoteric, but I use it all the time.
That's how he.
I
That's
found
how
that
he
if
do
I
what he
spend a little
does,
bit of time
man.
learning every day, it's just insane how much progress I end up making in 6 months. It's kind of like working out, except for your brain. Brilliant is really good for this because they take these big meaty topics where you don't even know where to begin, and they divide it up into little chunks that you can do one every day, and before you know it, you know a bunch of new cool stuff. Right
more
now
you
I'm
know.
trying to improve my statistics game. I'm working through all the statistics lessons. It's kind of inspiring me to try to beat the house. We'll see.
Let me
So if you want to
hear.
level up your skills and become
Try-
more
try
capable
to
as a
play
human,
Russian roulette.
check out Brilliant. All you have to do is go to brilliant.org/stuffmadehere to sign up for free, and the first 200 people will get 20% off their annual premium membership. Learning and applying knowledge is definitely one of life's great joys, so I hope you check it out, and that's it. Thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring this video, and thank you for listening.
All right, another thing too, man, help this man out, man, because obviously he's a smart guy. So like, I mean, subscribe to the channel, bro. Subscribe to my channel, like his channel, man. Don't forget to sign up for Brilliant so we all can become smarter together. Now let's watch what he does to this melon.
1.
Blow!
Anyone want some
I don't
cantaloupe?
even know, bro. Like,
Fresh cut.
I don't know what it would do to a person if it really hit him, man.
Ooh.
It
That seems
definitely
like a
is
good
gonna
one.
hurt something though. That's all I can say. I don't know if it'll
I know
cut
most
through
people
you.
are stronger than a melon,
Maybe it
but
might,
man, I
it
would not
might.
want to get hit by this. That's
Yeah,
all I've
that's
got
what I'm
until
saying.
V2, assuming I make it. I hope you enjoyed this project and maybe you learned something. If you feel the urge to get out there and make something or learn something, I would recommend acting on it. It's a source
That's why I'm doing YouTube videos.
of great joy.
Cause it's a source of great joy to me, man. Anyway, bro, I really hope y'all enjoyed this. I really do. Helps me a lot if y'all comment and, you know, even subscribe if y'all want to. Y'all ain't got to, but like, it's free, so it's like, why not do it? Check out this man's Stuff Made Here, and if you look below me or over to that side, there should be another video to check out. And man, like, you know, help, like, when you help somebody, generosity makes the world go around, man. You help somebody, help always comes back to you. Like, let's help each other grow. Let's help each other become smart, intelligent. Just pull each other out the dark, man. And again, man, y'all can check out this man at his channel right here. It's Stuff Made Here. And, you know, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about the video. Also, another question too. Would y'all put that on y'all wrist, or would y'all make something like that? Anyway, you gotta take it easy. Your boy is out.